Greetings, friends. My name is Pavel Shtermach, and now we will unveil the top news of recent days. Russia continues to sink. For almost 2 weeks, the regions of Greater Russia have been under the water one by one. That night, unexpectedly for everyone, except for those who can sink, the water began to rise sharply in the Tyumen region. An emergency evacuation was started there. I will repeat the emergency evacuation. Of course, who would have expected that spring floods will begin in the floodplains of the river, especially considering that the regional center of Orenburg and another city of Orsk have already been flooded in the neighborhood. By the way, according to reports from the local authorities, the water level in Orsk has already begun to drop. Over 1,000 residential buildings and more than 1,100 plots of land were freed from water in a day. But another 15,000 houses and 23,000 flats remain flooded, and the authorities say that. But there appeared news about a possible flooding upstream of the Or River. The dam on one of the reservoirs has overflowed, so it is likely that a lot of water will come to the city again. However, most of the attention is now on the city of Kurgan, where the water level in the Tabol River rose by 1,100 centimeters during the day and reached 742 centimeters in the morning. If the level rises by another 3.5 meters, the water will flood Russia's only factory for the production of infantry fighting vehicles and armored personnel carriers. In the Tomsk region, a 22-kilometer ice jam has formed on the Tom River. In a village of Alaevo, 40 kilometers from Tomsk, water is held due to such a jam as due to a dam. And the village of Kurlek, 30 kilometers from Tomsk, is clogged with huge pieces of ice. In the village of Kazanka, the ice is still intact, but the fields are flooded with water upstream. On the road Tomsk-Yar, water from the fields bypasses the traffic jam and flows directly along the road. The level of the Ural River in the village of Ilek in the Orenburg region rose to more than 9 meters, becoming higher than the critical level, the city hall reported. The situation will continue to deteriorate in the coming days, but the main question is, who is to blame for this? In Russia itself, people are blaming authorities for the current situation. The reasons are cited as illegal construction and massive deforestation. And if the owners themselves can somehow be blamed for their buildings in their lowlands, then cutting down the forest is of course a matter for the federal and regional authorities. But who in Russia is interested in environmental issues when you can simply make money by selling wood to China, for example, in order to continue the war against Ukraine? After all, now it would be possible to strengthen the dams, organize a planned evacuation, do at least something, except to talk about the danger. But as one of Russia's main propagandists, Solovyov, said, we need to talk about the important, fateful topics, not about floods in the regions. By the way, Solovyov's point of view, the fateful topics are the predictions of Zhirinovsky and the son of one of the Russian sinners who supports the war. As we can see, the war is important for the Kremlin, not the population, neither Russian nor Ukrainian, and if necessary, the entire planet. The second Black Sea Security Conference of the International Crimean Platform was held in Sofia, the capital of Bulgaria, with the participation of delegations from 43 states and 9 international organizations. Of course, the participants discussed the current security challenges in the Black Sea Azov region caused by Russia's aggressive war against Ukraine and their strategy to respond to them, the impact of Russia's full-scale armed aggression against Ukraine on geopolitical landscape and global food security, as well as possible additional steps to protect freedom and navigation safety in the Black Sea region.
We need to have a NATO's Black Sea strategy. This applies not only to Ukraine, but also to the restoration of peace, security and freedom of navigation in the Black Sea. We highly appreciate the initiative of Turkey, Romania and Bulgaria to demand the passages in the Black Sea. And this is a very specific, very necessary and very useful initiative, which can become the main part of NATO's Black Sea strategy in the future. Mykola Tochitsky, Deputy Foreign Minister of Ukraine at the second Black Sea Security Conference.
Last year was crucial for security in the Black Sea region as Ukraine took important steps to strengthen its defense capabilities with new technologies. According to him, one of the most important challenges was Ukraine's more active use of naval drones. Their effectiveness made it possible to change the dynamics of the war and create additional advantages for the defense forces of Ukraine. And active steps to demine in the Black Sea correspond to the interests of Bulgaria and the interests of the alliance, taking into account the serious potential and economic consequences of the use of sea mines, their danger to communication lines and seaports, and key underwater infrastructure. That is why Bulgaria, Romania, and Turkey previously created an operational group to counter mine threats in the Black Sea. All international partners are clearly aware that the Black Sea region is of strategic importance for Euro-Atlantic and world security, and therefore the liberation of the territories of Ukraine temporarily occupied by the Russian Federation and ensuring freedom of navigation is the only way to restore just peace and global stability in the interests of all nations. And as Bulgarian Foreign Minister Stefan Dimitrov aptly noted, investments in the security of the Black Sea region are investments in the security of the Euro-Atlantic space, in peace and freedom of the region in Europe. Bulgaria is ready to support Ukraine in implementing reforms, including in the defense and security sector, as well as in creating together with other allies a reliable, predictable and long-term security assistance mechanism for Ukraine before the Washington NATO summit in July. In Russia, bulldozers demolished the only church of the Orthodox Church of Ukraine. Remember this the next time you hear that some antichrists and champions of religion live in Ukraine. In the city of Noginsk, near Moscow, the only church of the Orthodox Church of Ukraine in honor of the Holy Trinity was demolished. In the fourth week of Great Lent, the last spiritual barricade of the Ukrainian spirit in Russia was destroyed. Earlier, in Russia, the Ukrainian library was closed and the only organization of the Ukrainian diaspora was eliminated. By the way, this is currently being done immediately in the occupied territories. Ukrainian literature, libraries and intelligentsia are being destroyed. Russian propaganda will repeatedly say that religion is supposedly being persecuted in Ukraine. But this is not the case. Probably Ukraine is the most religiously diverse country where different currents are simply used. What can we talk about if the Greek Catholic Church, which became a compromise between Catholics and Orthodox, became the most widespread in Ukraine in some time? Our Jewish president held an iftar together with Muslims, and 25 heads of Protestant churches united for a joint letter to the US Congress. And so it has always been on our land. We calmly treat all people of other faiths. Thousands of Hasidic Orthodox Jews come to Ukraine every year for Rosh Hashanah. What is more, neither the war that is currently ongoing nor the pandemic stopped them, and we are always happy to receive all guests. And that is why Ukraine reacts so harshly to the churches of the Moscow Patriarchate, because they have nothing to do with religion, but only with intelligence and state security. In Ukraine, there have always been tens of thousands of temples of the Moscow Patriarchate. In Russia, meanwhile, there is only a single temple of the Orthodox Church of Ukraine, but it was also demolished. After all, in 2016, the district court issued a decision. The temple should be demolished because it seemed to disturb the peace of the local population. It is not known what exactly. It was probably impossible to look at a real religion. That concludes our today's video. Thank you for watching. Stay updated, comment, like and subscribe to our UATV English channel for more news from Ukraine. Your support is what really matters. Goodbye.